Well guys, the motor's in. I wanted it moved up pretty far, not in the center of the hole over here, but closer to the front, so I had a little more room for a longer belt. So I had more room to set up how I was going to make the clutch work. So the idler is this thing right here, and that's just a piece of angle iron with a piece of flat stock welded to the top and bottom. The top is bolted to the frame of the tractor, the bottom bolts right to the idler, so that works pretty good. And then the clutch, try to get where you can see it here. I took two pieces of angle iron and welded them together because they had to be a little bit stronger. And then there's a flat tab on the top that holds, see, with the two bolts there. The bottom has one bolt, that's the pivot bolt for the clutch, so when you pull, I'm going to pull the clutch as if I was pushing it. You can see how it works. I just got the spring hooked up over here right now onto this side of the tractor. Then this is what the belt at the bottom looks like at the transaxle. This is a tensioner that I made. Now when I did the test drive, I had the battery all the way back here, but since the shifter is going to come up through here, I had to move the battery. Plus I want the battery and all the wiring to be hidden. So yesterday I made this, and I'm going to install this today. Let's put the battery tray here. And this is what's going to hold the tray, and I'm going to put it underneath here. So I just used angle iron and welded some tabs on it, and that's going to go down under here, underneath the steering and everything. Then whenever the back fenders are on and the seat and everything's on, you won't even know that the battery's down there. Here's the wiring harness. Now I used the wiring harness off the Murray, and on the Murray is the yellow wire that goes to the battery, or that goes to the motor, is the kill switch. So when you turn the key off, it grounds the motor, grounds the spark, and shuts it off. They also have a safety yellow wire, which would have been this one. That one went back to the seat, so that if you came off the seat for any reason, the engine would shut off. So I've eliminated that, so I could start it up from the ground. Also, the black wire had a couple safety switches that, actually it was this black wire, and a couple safety switches, and what that did was that wouldn't let the engine start unless you had the clutch in, transmission in neutral, the mower deck off. There's things that this controls. So that goes to the solenoid, or the starter relay, the starter solenoid. If this isn't connected, the starter won't engage when you turn the key. So all I did was took the black wire from where it comes out of the key and connected that right to the solenoid. So now you don't have to have the clutch in or anything like that to start it. I just got to make sure it's in neutral every time or it's going to drive away from me. I also lengthened these wires by using shrink wrap connectors. So I connected them and then I just heated them up. And the reason I lengthened them is because I want to run the wiring underneath the tractor so that you can't see any of it. This red wire is going to be the power for the lights. I don't need to run a ground wire to these lights. They only require the power wire because the ground is grounded right to the frame right here. And finally guys, the last thing I'm going to do, hopefully today, is take these pieces of angle iron, I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to put half of the tab on this side, half on the other, weld it to my frame here, and then the frame of the tractor, hopefully to reinforce these two. And of course I've got more of this angle iron, and I'm going to reinforce this steering piece that we made in a previous video. I'm going to just use some of this angle iron and make some tabs like this so that this thing won't break off.